Hello students, okay, I came back again. Today we are going to learn the third chapter, that is production and employment. But before going into the lesson, let us now learn some key points from the lesson. Let us now understand the meaning of the important concepts in the lesson. Okay, the first one is GDP. What is the meaning of GDP? GDP means actually the value of all final goods and services produced in a country within a period of 1 year, that is a financial year from April to March. Next one. Okay, the second one is the final good. See, final good means the good or the commodity which is used by the final consumer for final consumption, means the production of the commodity is almost completed and ready for final consumption. Means the rice which is bought by the family to cook food, or a car, or a computer, or a book, or a chair. So like that, the commodities which are ready for consumption are known as final goods. So the next one we see intermediate good. What is meant by intermediate good? A good which is already produced but it is not ready for final consumption. Here I will give you few examples to make you understand what is an intermediate good. Means, for example, sugar cane. Sugar cane is produced in the field, agriculture field. Once its production is completed, but again in a sugar industry, sugar cane is used as a raw material for making sugar. Means there sugar cane is not the final good, but it is considered as a intermediate good. So thus intermediate good means which is not ready for final consumption. Okay, the next one is organizer sector. What is the meaning of organizer sector? Organizer sector means where definite pattern of production and employment are followed, where particularly all the rules and regulations of government are followed, particularly some definite or specific employment will be there, specific wage rate will be there, fixed number of hours or some facilities will be provided to the workers. That will come as organizer sector. So the next one is unorganized sector, where there is no definite pattern of employment and production, where the organizations or the employers do not follow any rules and regulations which are laid down by the government, don't follow any acts, they go as per their wish. And next, if you see, the next topic is underemployment. So what is meant by underemployment? Means people are working apparently but not to their full capacity. We cannot totally call them as unemployed, but at the same time they are not fully employed, they are not working for their full capacity. They are working only for like a temporary job for a small number of hours, few number of hours or like that. Next one is financial year. Financial year means a period of 12 months in which accounts or taxes of a company are calculated most generally from the month of April to the March. So these are the keywords which we learn in this lesson. Now let us go into the lesson production and employment. Before again going into the lesson, you should know what is the meaning of production. Already I think you know what is the meaning of production. Yes, producing something, producing goods and services. All the production activities already you have studied in your 8th standard, your 9th standard, the classification of production activities, right? So the classification of all the production activities which is called as occupational structure, you understand? So actually all the production, different people follow different occupations. Almost all the people involved in production activity to earn their livelihood. Some people do some job, some people do some business, some people do some production. Like that all the people totally involved in production activities only. So already a classification is done of these production activities. Means they are classified into 3 sectors. So first one is agriculture sector or primary sector. Second one is industrial sector or secondary sector. And third one is service sector or tertiary sector. So now you know what are included in agriculture sector or primary sector. Agriculture and its allied activities like fishing, forestry, mining all comes under agriculture sector. And next one, secondary sector. Actually in agriculture sector, nature plays a dominant role in the production process. Mostly they use the soil which is created naturally. They use the sunlight, they use the water resources. So nature plays a dominant role in the production process in the agriculture sector or primary sector. So the second one is secondary sector or industrial sector. Here the production of goods takes place. People produce the goods and commodities by using tools and machines. In large scale industries or small scale industries, the production takes place maybe in large scale industry or a small scale industry, but the production takes place with the help of some tools and machines. It comes under the secondary sector or industrial sector. And if you see, even the construction of buildings also comes under this sector. And the third one, service sector, totally different from two sectors. How? Here they do not produce directly any commodity or good. They provide services to the first two sectors, agriculture sector or industrial sector. The services like transportation, communication, banking services, real estate services, insurance, education, health, all will come under the service sector. So now we are going to see the percentage of employees engaged in different sectors in 2 different years. We are going to see here, we are going to give one table to you where you can see the comparison 1972 to 73 and 2009 to 2010. The employees, percentage of employees in different sectors is given here. For example, if you see the agriculture, in 1972 to 73 year, the percentage of employees in agriculture sector is 74%. And in industrial sector is 11% and in service sector is 15%. In the same way, 2009 to 10, if you see, the percentage of employees engaged in agriculture sector is 53% and engaged in industrial sector is 22% and service sector is 25%. But here we are going to, by comparing this, we are going to understand that definitely there is some increase in the percentage of employees, especially in the secondary sector, industrial sector and in service sector. But when we come to the agriculture sector, we observed a decrease in the percentage from 74% to 53%. Okay, now let us go to the next topic. We are going to see, as already in the previous lesson we have seen that when we compare individuals, we are going to we compare the individuals, how we are going to say that who is developed, who is not developed. We are going to see the income levels. We are going to, if anybody asks you about your neighbors or any other person, how we are classifying them into rich and poor. Then at the time, while giving a judgment that these people are rich, these people are poor, by observing so many factors like the income factor, the income they get, and again the food they take, their dress habit, the dress they wear, whether they are wearing costly dresses or cheap materials or otherwise, the vehicle they use to travel when they come outside, the house in which they live, all these things we observe and we easily say that these people are rich, these people are poor. But when it comes to the countries, how do you say which country is having more income, which country is developed? Here again, we come to see the goods and services which are produced in the country and which we can by observing that we can say whether that country is developed or not. How? By observing the goods and the quantity of goods and services produced in the country, which indicates the income of the country. So the technical term to tell the quantity of goods and services which are produced in a country in a given particular year is called as GDP. Expand GDP, gross domestic product. What is meant by GDP? Already we have seen in the key points. The final value of all the goods and services produced in a country within a given period of means 1 year is called as GDP. So children, now it became very clear for us what is the meaning of GDP, which means I told you that the value of all the final goods and services produced in a country within a particular period, particularly 1 year period, is called as GDP. Here one graph is given to you which is showing the GDP of 2 years 1972 to 73 and 2009 to 10. And here in this graph you are given even the contribution of each sector towards the GDP. So by looking at this table and by observing these figures, you can come to some opinion that which sector is contributing more to the GDP, which sector is contributing less, and here the years are also compared. You can see any development is there or not. So in 1972 to 73, if you see the GDP by agriculture is 2,43,082 crores of rupees. But when you come to see 2009 to 10, it is 7,64,817 crores of rupees. Actually, we find a lot of improvement or a lot of development in the field of agriculture also. Okay, next you see the contribution of industry to the GDP in 1972 to 73. It is 1,33,912 crores of rupees. It is given in crores of rupees, children. You please see this picture, this graph very carefully. And okay, 2009 to 10, if you see 11,73,089 crores of rupees. Here also we find tremendous growth in this sector. Okay, next go to the service sector. In 1972 to 73, it is 2,09,352 crores of rupees, and in 2009 to 10, 25,78,165 crores of rupees. There is no comparison at all. By looking at this, we came to understand that tremendous growth and improvement took place in the service sector. Do you agree that? So now, even if you see the aggregates, you come to understand that even if you compare the aggregates of these 2 years also, a lot of development, means a lot of development in the field of production of goods from these three sectors, goods and services, from these three sectors you feel. Now I will ask you to observe this table. I will ask you two questions. Which is the largest producing sector in 1972 to 73? Come on, tell me answer. Yeah, right. It is agriculture sector. When you come to 72 to 73, your agriculture sector is the largest producing sector, which contributed 2,43,082 crores of rupees towards GDP. Okay, now let us come to 2009 to 10. So when you come to 2009 and 10, 2009 to 10, which is the largest producing sector? It is service sector, no doubt at all. A tremendous increase took place from 2,09,352 crores of rupees to 25,78,165 crores. Okay, now we go to the next topic, how to estimate the GDP.